Hi, this is Kim with Mom's Creative Moments. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to continue our 12 days of Christmas layouts, and today is focused on Santa. So it's going to be fun and it should be quick and easy, so I am excited about this one. This is a 2-page layout, and yeah, I just think it's going to be fun. Santa just makes me happy and excited and feel like a little kid again, or maybe it's just the magic of Christmas and seeing the light that comes to the little kids' eyes this time of year. It's super fun, and just makes us all want to do good things, right? Especially for them and for each other. So let's check out my workspace and get started. It's going to be neat. Alright, so this is our workspace for today, and you'll notice I've got the blog post from earlier this month from this Creative Memories blog. I've printed that out. This is a layout that was created, and I am so sorry, but I did not look up who the designer was for this. It just said the Creative Memories blog, so I'll see if I can do some digging. Yeah, it does not tell us on here who it was on our home office designer team who came up with this layout, but it's super cute and it looks like it's going to be very quick. So I hope that you will follow along with me and we'll create this. It looks really, really fun. Again, please excuse me if I forget and don't catch any of my coughs on here. I am still trying to recover from my bronchitis, which is super fun. And slower than I'd like, but it is coming along. So let me just really quickly explain to you what I have on my table so you have that to get started with as a reference. Okay, I have 2 sheets of blue, this really pretty blue plaid paper. This is from the extra bundle from Christmas Cheer. It's not from the Christmas Cheer regular bundle, it's the extra one. And of course it's totally escaping my brain what it was called. Let me see if I can tell you really quickly, just so you have that. It's the accessory paper pack, this one right here. So if you are looking for that, that's where you'll find it. And then I have 2 pages of white cardstock that we're also going to use. This paper and this paper, the candy cane stripe and the green with the trees on it, comes from Christmas Cheer. And then this plaid right here also comes from the accessory pack. Okay, and then the word page also comes from Christmas Cheer with the candy canes on the back. Alright? Again, you can use whatever paper makes you happy. If you have Joy to the World still hanging around, use Joy to the World. Why not, right? If you've got it, you can make it work. So these 4 papers right here are going to be involved in the border that we are going to create that's going to go across the bottom. And until we get that far, I'm just going to set those to the side so that we can concentrate on our base pages for just a minute. Okay, we are going to do some gutting just so that we can save some of this really pretty paper. So we are going to make this into a 1.5 inch frame, 2 pages with each with a 1.5 inch frame. So what you're going to need are a couple of clips, alligator clips like this, and your 12-inch trimmer. We're going to place our clips so that they stop at 1.5 inches on either side so that we get an even frame all the way around. So we've got a number line on our on the bars that hold our blade, and that's going to help us a whole lot. So I'm going to place my clip at 1/2 inch so that this end right here is at 1/2 inch. That's going to stop my housing so that my blade stops at 1.5 inches. And I know that because there's 1 inch between this end and where my blade sits, right in the center of this housing. Alright, so I'm going to put that clip right there. Then I'm going to come back over here and I'm going to grab another clip and grab one of my blue ones here. I want this end to stop at 10.5 inches, so I'm going to place the clip at 11.5 inches on this side. And that way when I slide the blade this direction, my mark on the side of my trimmer, this white line right here, which shows me where my blade is making contact, is going to stop at the 10.5 inch mark and allow me that extra 1.5 inches at the bottom. And I'm going to place my paper in here using the bumper at the top of my trimmer so it's flush against that raised area right there and straight. And I'm going to move it over to 1.5 inches on the right hand side of my cutting line. Okay, so that I have 1.5 inches on this side of where I'm going to cut. I have 1.5 inches on this side and 1.5 inches from where I stop at the bottom. And then I'm going to just rotate this, and I'm going to go counterclockwise because it just works easier for me working with my left hand the way I am. My left hand can just reach in there and turn it. Very quick and easy. You might notice some overlap of your cuts. That is okay, and it will really not be noticed once your paper is put down on your base page. And now we can save this paper to use it somewhere else, in another layout somewhere. So I'm going to set that over there, and we're going to do the same thing with this other page so that we have 2 pages that match. So 1.5 inches. I'm going to go all the way around. 1.5 inches. All right. There's our extra piece, so I'm going to set that over there. And there are our frames. Now I'm going to come back in here with my white cardstock, and I'm going to cut these 2 pieces into 11-inch squares. That's going to be really quick and easy because that just means we need to cut 1 inch off of each side of this paper. I can stack them together, place them so that they're flush against the top bumper, and the right hand edge of my paper is at the 1-inch line on the right hand side of my blade where I'm going to cut. Okay, I'm going to cut that 1 inch off. Then I'm going to turn my paper one time, and I'm going to line that up again on the 1-inch line. Make sure it is flush against the top. And now I've got 2 11-inch squares. These pieces, these strips, I'm going to set aside for something else. Okay, so now we've got our 2 bases. Let's go ahead and add those or put those together so that they are good to go. Okay, so 1 for each piece of plaid. I'm going to come in here with my permanent adhesive, if I can get my guard to go back. I'm having trouble with this wanting to slide lately. There we go. And I'm just going to add about 5 different 1/2-inch spots of adhesive on each side. The ones in the corners kind of have dual duty, so these other sides I only place it in 3 spots. Okay. That adhesive is valuable and not cheap, so you don't want to use more than you need. It'll go farther if you are a little bit restrained in how you use it. All right. So I'm just centering that so that there is roughly, how much is that? About a 1/2 inch, a generous 1/2 inch border all the way around the outside. And let's do this one. I hope that you are ready for Christmas. If you're not ready for Christmas, you can still order Creative Memories stuff, but it may not get there in time. The guaranteed shipped by or to you by Christmas date, I think, was last week. So, but you could give an IOU if you wanted to order Creative Memories stuff. I'm sure the person you got it for would still appreciate it. Either way. Okay, these 2 bases are done. I'm going to set these aside and grab my other pieces of paper, and we're going to work on the border that we're going to create. Okay, so let me show you again. Whoop, that's not what I wanted. I want this so you can see the picture. So we're going to create this cute little border that goes across the bottom here. And we're going to use several papers to do that. So I'm going to use the green in place of the gold that's going here, because green just says Christmas a little bit more to me than adding the gold, although the gold is pretty on this design. Just for something different, I thought we'd try green. Alright, so let's go ahead, and I'm going to grab my trimmer again, and I'm going to flip it over and take out my scallop blade. It's the pretty purple one, if you have that one. If you don't have that one and you just want to make it straight, that's fine. Or you could pick a different decorative blade to use. That's also fine. Whatever makes you happy. So I'm putting my purple blade in here. It's going to be somebody's job. Don't forget to remind me I've got to put that straight blade back in at some point, so that I am not cutting something that needs to be straight into a scallop. Y'all know how bad I am about that. Okay, so we're going to cut 2 3 by 12 inch pieces, but we want our trees to be upright, and our design is going horizontal. So I'm going to turn my paper so my the tree tops are headed to the left, and I'm going to cut this at 3 inches. So, oh, you know what? I also need to make sure I have an edge on the top. So, let's turn it back around. So now my tree tops are facing to the right. And let me just double check and make sure that my scallop is going in the direction I want it to be. So I want the curve, the top of the curve, to be to the right. That means that my Creative Memories emblem is going to face the left. And where it says scallop, that also faces the left. Okay, so I'm just placing my paper so that the edge is right along the right hand cutting guide, not the left hand cutting line. Does that make sense? There are 2 dotted lines on your mat strip. You're going to line up the edge, the top edge of your paper, on the right hand cutting line so that you can cut on the left hand cutting line. I didn't say that right the second time, sorry. Alright, so there we go. That gives you just enough to cut off and make that pretty scallop across the top. Now we're going to turn it all the way around so the treetops are now facing left, and we're going to line those treetops up at the 3 inch mark. Okay, so 3 inches. I'm going to come back up here and cut down. Now we have to do that same thing again. So we're going to flip our paper back over, put the points of those scallops on the right hand line on our mat, and come back in here. Go slow so that you don't shift your paper. Okay, we're just going to add the scallop going in the correct direction that we want it. Then flip it back around. So now my trees are facing to the left again. And put the tops of that scallop right at the 3-inch mark. And there we go. Now we have 2 of those. We can set these trees aside on top of those extra plaid pieces. Now we're going to come in here with the straight blade. So I'm going to exchange my straight blade, take my scallop out, put my straight in. Thank you to all those who were saying that just a second ago. Don't forget Kim, I heard you. Okay. Now we're going to take our diagonal, cute diagonal candy cane paper, and we're going to cut this at 2.5 inches. And the only thing that you need to maybe keep in mind is maybe which direction you want your diamond or your diagonal stripes to go. If you want it to go headed to the left, or if you want it to go headed to the right. And it doesn't really make too much difference to me, but typically I make mine headed to the right just because I like it better that way. I think for movement purposes it works, but you can do it any direction that makes you happy. So 2.5 inches, 2.5 by 12. We're going to cut 2 of those. So there's one. We're going to do another 2.5. There we go. Done with that paper. Set that one aside. Now we're going to take our plaid paper and we're going to cut 2 strips at 2 inches. The plaid paper, it doesn't matter which way you slice it, you're going to get the same plaid. This is the plaid that's on the back, so if you like that plaid better, be my guest. You can use whichever one makes you happy. I'm going to use this one because it has a lot of colors in it, and I just like having more colors. Okay, so 2 inches by 12 inches, and you need 2 of them if you're doing a 2-page layout. If you only want to do this layout once, then or for 1 page, then you only need 1. All right. And then you're also going to need a little bit of this word paper. I call it word paper because there's words all over it. And you're going to need 2 by 2 squares. Now, the question is this word paper directional? If we turn it this way, can we read just as many words as we could when it was going the other way? Or maybe this way? I think this way everything would be upside down, so that was definitely no. This one would be all right, but some things are upside down. This way, nothing's upside down. Some things are sideways, but nothing's upside down. So I think I'm going to go with this. That means I need my squares to be this way. And I'm going to just trim off across the top so that I can cut my squares going that direction. So I need 4, no, I need 1, 2, 3, I need 6 2 by 2 inch squares. So we're going to cut a 2-inch strip, and we're going to cut another, no, I think just 1 2-inch strip will do it, right? If my sick head is right, we should be able to get 6 2 by 2 squares out of 1 12-inch strip, right? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And this one may need a little bit of a trim. Yep, just a tiny one. Alright. And that's because of my cutting, not because of the paper. Okay, now we have everything cut that we need. So I'm just going to set my trimmer out of the way here and move this paper out of the way as well. Let's go ahead and do some assembling. So we've got 3 different strip pieces. We're going to start with the green piece as our base. Then we're going to add this pretty candy cane paper. So I'm going to add my adhesive, again in about 1/2 inch increments, unless your adhesive's doing what mine was doing, and that was trying to pull itself out. Okay, so I'm just going to center this as best I can in the middle, right down the middle of that green. And then I'm going to do the same thing with this one. Okay. Right there should be good. All right. Now we're going to take this plaid paper and we're going to go, oh dear, Finn got excited about something upstairs. Okay, now we're going to take the plaid, the blue plaid with all the different colors and stripes, and it's going to get centered right down this piece, and you can see how it makes that candy cane just pop right off the page. Isn't that just cool? I like stuff like that. Okay. Okay, we're going to do the same thing with this second one.
I actually was there. I was just in the crowd.
Oop, I got a little bit too excited there. Okay.
Would you like me to bring down a bowl of soup or no?
Alright, so now what we're going to do is just take 3 of these for each of these strips, and you can see in the picture they're just equally spaced. So I'm going to use my mat on my works table to give me an idea of where these should go. Okay, so we want 2 inches, and then we want to place one here. So I'm going to just add some adhesive to the back of this one, taking care to make sure that the large words are going in the right direction, because you don't want something like that big joy that's there headed sideways or upside down or whatever. Okay, so I'm just going to make sure that it's going at about the 2-inch mark. Then I'm going to put the next one at the 6-inch mark, which is going to be, let's see, 2, 4, 5, 6 right here. And then the third one's going to go right at the end. And then we're going to do the same thing for the next one. Alright, so there's one. Ooh, this one. How do I know? Let's do this one this way. Okay. Oh, I went over the edge again. All right, and then this one will be at 6. So right here. And this one will go right here. Okay. All right, so now what we get to do is have some fun with some embellishments. Now these are the Christmas Cheer Santa embellishments that came if you bought the Buy It All bundle. You got these. So if you didn't buy the Buy It All bundle, but you're still creating this layout along with me, which you're welcome to do, I would recommend that you find some cute Christmas embellishments that you like. Either, you know, you can use the other embellishments that came with Christmas Cheer this year, or you can use the embellishments from Joy to the World or Seasonal Sightings. Whatever is going to make you happy and work with this, with the colors that you're using in your layout, will be fantastic. Okay, and we're just going to kind of pull out a few of these. We've got a couple of Santas. I'm going to pull out, let's see, we can put another Santa down here. Maybe this cute Santa with a gift over this way. We could do a cute Mrs. Claus. Isn't that cute? I think sometimes we forget about Mrs. Claus. She's important, right? She's important. But we can't put her on there because we want her hair to show, and her hair is gorgeous, right? So we're going to put her, let's put her more in the middle of the show. We'll put her right here. Okay. Let's see, we've got a couple of presents. We've got this guy holding the bag. Let's put him on this end. We've got a sleigh. The sleigh is kind of wide. He doesn't really fit, it doesn't really fit into those pockets. So, let's see, we'll put, maybe it would help if it would help me visualize if I put these end to end. That way I can see what they're going to look like a little bit better, like that. We can do Merry Christmas and put a couple of cute packages. Let's put a green one. We can do like that. We can do this other cute little Santa in this corner with his present. We can do a ho 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 and a present over here. Let's stick that guy up there. How's that looking? Merry Christmas. We'll move those presents over so they can take that extra empty spot. And we'll save that sleigh for another layout somewhere along the line because it's just kind of too big. Now, it looks like we could also include some stickers. So let me pull out my Christmas Cheer sticker pack. And let's see what we've got that we could include. Not that one because that one's our borders. But we can add a stocking or two, right? Let's see. We can add a stocking in here. Maybe pop up those presents and we'll leave the stocking down on on the border. And let's see, should we do the stocking on this side? I don't know, I feel like this side maybe looks okay. Let's stick that one back. Maybe what we could do is just add some candy canes kind of behind these guys. Okay, let's grab some foam squares and we'll pop a few of these guys up. That would be fun.
From the quarters. The washcloths.
Oh, that's cool.
Yes. There's teal and pink.
Very cool.
Do you want to open it or should we upstairs where you're not
Yeah.
recording?
Take it upstairs and I'll look at it in a minute, okay?
Okay.
Thanks. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and put this on here. It's so fun when we have great neighbors who bring us treats at Christmas. We have treats for them too. We made jam back in October. So we'll be taking some jam to some of our neighbors. Makes me wish we could bring it to everyone in the whole neighborhood. I'm not wealthy enough to do that, unfortunately, but we will hit as many as we can. We'll pop that guy up there on the corner. I'm gonna just kind of, some of them are gonna be popped up and some of them are gonna be adhered. So that guy's gonna get glued down. And we'll glue down Mrs. Claus. We can pop up this little gift bag, right? Give that a little bit more pizzazz. Same thing with this little present. Like so. We could pop up this Santa. We had our church Christmas party on Saturday. I think I mentioned that we got to be a major part of the planning for that this year. And I was really excited. I think it went really well, which was really nice. And we had the coolest Santa, I just have to say. Santa has many, many helpers, but our Santa's helper was really awesome. So fun to see everyone focused on making this season magical, you know? There we go, there's that one. This guy's already set down. We're gonna, oh, I think I forgot to put this down. Ho, 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 indeed. Let's pop that guy up a little bit, because it's hard to emphasize ho, ho, ho when it's stuck to our paper, right? Perfect. Three little spots. And we need one for our little gift. Tucking that underneath just a little bit, and then we'll finish off with this Merry Christmas. need foam squares for these two. So 1 and 2. Come on, stay on. There we go. I just didn't push it down. It didn't know I wanted it to stay there. Cuteness. Okay, now what we're going to do is adhere these to our pages. So I'm going to flip these over and go ahead and add some adhesive down each side. And we're going to grab, where are they? Here they are. Grab our base pages. And then these pages, or these, are going to go roughly a 1/2 inch from the bottom. They're just barely going to cover up the base of our white cardstock. Isn't that nice how that's helpful? So that we get it in the right place. All right, and we can press that down. And that one's good to go. Now, to make sure that we get page 2 in the same place, I find it's very good to just line things up. But you can eyeball it like we did when we put the first one on, if that makes you happy. But sometimes I just like to line it up. All right, so there we go. Now, this is going to be a little bit difficult to see, but I wanted to show you that you can put a 4x6 here. You could mat that 4x6, so we could take some of this plaid if we wanted. We could take some of the plaid that we did our base from. In fact, let's do that. Let's use the plaid we got our base from. We'll make a couple of quick mats. So we're going to make these 4.5. Cut that in half at 4.5 and then stack it. And then we're going to cut it at 6.5, which is going to be roughly right there. All right, and then we've got a mat. We can put that mat right here. And then you've got your 4x6 that will go down there. Then we've got room for 2 5x3.5 photos horizontally that can go this direction with just enough room. I mean, there's actually room. You could make larger, put larger pictures in there if you wanted to. So it just depends on how much space you want, but you can see, hopefully you can see, those are the parameters of that photo. So you've got a good 3/4 of an inch here you can play with, a 1/2 inch out here you could play with. You could add and make those photos larger if you wanted to. Alright, I think we are done here, but this turned out super cute. I really love it, and I hope that you have made these beautiful pages in whatever paper has made you happy. I love the red that's here. Red is one of my favorite colors. I just didn't want to be a copycat and do the exact same thing, so I thought I'd give you a variation of this page. And if you create this page, I would love it if you'd share it with us. Send it to my Facebook page, or private message it to me on Facebook, and show me what you've been able to put together. I would love to see how you chose to do yours. Okay, I'm sorry, I've totally skipped over embellishments. I don't know where my brain went, but I just wanted to show you that I added this cute little ornament that's part of the Christmas cheer sticker pack, and these 2 little stars I added to the ornament. And if you're going to put in an embellishment here, just keep in mind that you need to add you need to pop it up on foam squares first of all, and the foam square needs to be as far to the right as possible. Then you can add other foam squares in here, but don't take the backing off. That way you can slip a picture underneath there when you are ready to put your photo on the page. Let me show you what I mean. So I also put this cluster together of, these are stickers, again with the Christmas cheer sticker pack. And I added some foam squares to the back. There's quite a few foam squares on here, but these 3 small ones that are on this right hand side of this cluster, I'm going to leave the backing on. I'm not going to take the backing off of there. That way I can still, it'll keep the sticker from adhering to my page, but it will still allow me to add a photo underneath. So I'm only going to take the backing off of these 2 that are on the left hand side. So the large one here and this one up here on the star. And I'm going, because those are far on the left hand side, and then I can add that right to the middle of my base, and it will only stick on this outside portion, right? That way I can still slide photos underneath the corners of them. Okay, I just wanted to make sure and show you that and remind you that if you want to do that, just don't take make sure you have it popped up so it's lifted up off the page, and then make sure you don't take the backing off of the edges that will be over where your picture is going to go. All right. Thanks so much for joining me. I hope you have many more creative moments, and I will see you again in a couple days. Have a great day.